Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Season Keepers, the show where the only two people we recommend keeping for the season is us. My name's Matt, aka Clean Sheet Wipeout.
My name's James, aka FPL Drug.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's getting that sort of squeaky bum time of the season now. Last few game weeks. Those of you trying to catch your rivals, hopefully there's some good tips in this podcast.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing at the moment on Twitter is, people aren't really necessarily bothered about their overall rank now. They're more worried about how many points they are behind their mini league rivals and the amount of cash I'm seeing across Twitter as well. Particularly, there's a lot of people in Sky Cash leagues. I mean, I need to get involved in those next season. But I think there was one chap in the Sky Beginners group set to make about 700 odd quid in, all the leagues that he's in. He's behind me in rank, so I need to get involved.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's typical. You'll get involved next season, go heavy in the leagues, and you'll probably do shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll end up losing like 100 quid in fees. Right, big old game week. Triple game week, obviously for Man United. So let's get stuck in. Bearing in mind we're recording on Thursday evening because we both had a busy old week, but still going to give the podcast to you guys. So here we go. First things first, James, it was Leicester 2, Newcastle 4.
Wow, what a game, one that I think nobody saw coming. Obviously, Leicester chasing for Champions League, Newcastle all but safe. Them to then go up 4-0 up is quite a statement away from home as well.
I know, it was a really weird game to watch, obviously. Newcastle was so dominant, particularly on the break, and obviously Callum Wilson got a brace. Unfortunately, then picked up, I think it's a hamstring injury in the game. So obviously he's now out for the rest of the season, which is a real shame. But Willock got another goal. And yeah, they just looked so good. And then towards the end, Leicester just started to come at them. And obviously pulled 2 goals back. And I think it was Ayoze Perez missed a sitter, really. Like hit it straight at Dubravka. In fairness, it was a good save. But had they scored that 4-3 with a couple of minutes to go, squeaky bum time, could have easily equalised. But yeah, brilliant result for Bruce, and yeah, cemented their place in the Premier League.
Yeah, agreed. Underwhelming from Leicester. Obviously, we expected a little bit more from our double game week players in this week.
We did, yeah.
Obviously, they blank in 36, so they're going to be leaving in their droves. The likes of Castagna, Iheanacho, they're going to be flying out of teams.
Yeah, this was the game that I was expecting Castagna to keep a clean sheet, maybe getting an attack and return, and ended up on 0 points. Thankfully, obviously, Iheanacho got his goal and a couple of bonus points, but a lot of us own him now. So, a little bit of a differential in terms of, dead teams and whatnot. But if you've been on him for the last 3-4 weeks, you're probably going to look to come off now, aren't you, with the blank?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's worth mentioning that Wilson injury is quite disappointing because and I'm sure many others plan to get him in because of the Sheffield United fixture Newcastle had. Obviously, Wilson's been playing well. He played well that game, but obviously the injury sees him out for the rest of the season. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, it's disappointing because I also would have liked to see him play against City tomorrow. I think Newcastle, could have played quite well, but it's going to be interesting to see how they set up against City. Without Wilson, they've still got Saint-Maximin, but Joe Linton isn't exactly the pacey front man that you want compared to Callum Wilson. So,
no.
Right, and then moving on to the next game, Saturday morning. Another shock, really. It was Leeds 3, Spurs 1.
Yeah, another great game. Spurs outclassed by Leeds, which I didn't expect. Obviously, Spurs, since Mourinho's departure, have sort of been a bit more buoyant, a bit more sort of attacking. But I think they almost tried to play too attacking in this game and sort of got done by Leeds a little bit.
Yeah, Leeds were exceptional going forward. And there was a moment, obviously, where you saw, I think it was Gareth Bale wasn't tracking back. And to be fair, Son wasn't tracking either. And perhaps they had been told that, but it really, really didn't work. And surprise, surprise, Leeds took full advantage and, went rampant. Obviously, Bamford, Dallas, and then Rodrigo came on and got his goal. Mate, my bench in this game, triple Leeds, did fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, we had a bit of a laugh with your bench. I was like, oh, there we go, another return on your bench.
Absolutely.
It's always the way.
22 points from the second game of the week, and they're all sat on my bench.
It would have been a cracking bench boost, but obviously we've both used ours, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. But I think this just cements why I've gone triple Leeds for the final run-in, because I really like their fixtures. And they're a team that will continue to play well, even though they're safe. Like, they're not particularly fighting for anything now this season, but Bielsa won't let them drop the tempo. So, yeah, I'm fully expecting them to keep picking up the goals. And I've got Dallas, Rafinha, and Bamford for that reason.
Agreed. It's a great last three, and I'm targeting Leeds players this week. I mean, I need to take a hit to field a full 11, and they're very much in my thoughts.
Yeah. I think they'll be in a lot of people's thoughts if they don't have them. Whereas obviously with Harry Kane, again, another blank. Son was the player to return. Annoyingly, I don't own him, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to bring him back in. I've got things to consider, obviously moving forward. But recently, yeah, Kane just seems to have gone off the boil a little bit. And if he wants to get that golden boot, I think this week coming, Kane could probably be second best captaincy option. But he just hasn't looked like as sharp as he has been recently. And I know that's slightly unfair. He did technically score twice in this game. One was a toenail offside, which was ridiculous. And the other one was massively offside. And then he obviously hit the bar from a free kick as well. So it could have easily been a double return from him. But yeah, it's just frustrating having all that money up front and seeing another 2-pointer come our way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he summed it up well there. I wouldn't be particularly worried about him. That offside was obviously a joke.
Yeah.
And as you say, he hit the bar. And another day, he's getting a decent return. And I'm very confident, like in the last 3 games, regardless of who he plays, he's more than capable of scoring 1 or 2.
Yeah, and particularly he's got that golden boot to fight for. And I think a player like Harry Kane will want that at the end of the season. So.
Exactly. I think for you to go back onto Son now, I think you potentially missed the boat a bit, obviously, with these returns, and obviously only a couple of games left, especially with you having Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the double up myself, but it's not like I've got rid of him. So, yeah, I'd say maybe for you, just not bother bringing him back.
Yeah, it would probably mean a hokey pokey with Bruno, and it would cost me a -4, and I don't think it's worth it because I'll be wanting Bruno back, at least for the next game. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see for the final game of the season. Could be rested the fact that Man United didn't play the Europa League final, but not worth thinking about that just yet. Right, moving on then. And then a clean sheet for Crystal Palace, which obviously you brought in Joel Wardinho. It was Sheffield United 0, Crystal Palace 2.
Yes, I did. Particularly targeting this fixture, I felt obviously more confident in Palace getting a clean sheet against Sheffield United than I did against us. However, I thought there was the potential there for 2 clean sheets with Palace, even though they are away from home. So, yeah, I'm relatively happy with that. A little bit disappointed to see him pick up a yellow card because he was very close to getting some bonus, and that yellow card cost him the bonus.
It cost him, yeah, because he ended up 4th in the bonus table.
Yeah, a bit of a kick in the teeth, that one. But I can't complain. I've got a clean sheet out of him, and that's what I wanted.
And a lot of people gambled on Zaha for this double game week. And I mean, I wasn't a fan of it personally. I would never have gone near him. I don't really like Zaha as a FPL player. But he didn't get involved at all, really, in the goals moving forward. And it was Benteke's and Eze obviously getting the goals in this game.
Yeah, great to see Benteke playing well. Obviously, very few people in the community and on the game own him.
Yeah, I mean,
that's good for his confidence. It's good to see.
Exactly, he's only 1.3% owned, but yeah, just to see that man smile after scoring, it was, it's great to see because he's potentially one of many that look like they might be leaving Crystal Palace in the summer. So I think there's going to be a big upheaval in the summer for Palace. They haven't really nailed anybody to contracts. There was a list, and I'm sure there's about 8 to 10 players out of contract this season.
All right. Do they know where he's going, or are they literally just going to release him? Because
Don't know because
I guess he must be on a lot of money.
it includes players like Andros Townsend and stuff as well. And there's quite a few of the defenders are out of contract in the summer. Whether they're going to renew any deals, I'm not sure, but it may mean that Palace have a huge upheaval, and to allow these kind of players to leave out of contract, I think it's crazy for a club like Palace, especially that many. Cash in a season ago if you know that you're not going to release them. You could have got money for the likes of Benteke, Andros Townsend. Now you're potentially like letting them go for free. It just feels a bit weird.
Yeah, it does. Maybe it was the wages. Like no one wanted to buy them at the wages they wanted.
Maybe, yeah. Right. Moving on then, and what everybody dubbed is the obviously the pre-game to the Champions League final, but wasn't really given Man City's lineup. It was Man City 1, Chelsea 2.
Yeah, a bit of a strange lineup from City, but I don't care. I was very happy with Aguero's poor penalty.
Oh, mate.
Something I did not expect. A Mendy penalty save from this game week. And I'll take it because obviously I kind of, in hindsight, I kind of needed that with him not playing the second game.
You did, yeah. I mean, it has to be one of the easiest pen saves of the season. Like he has time to he has time to go the wrong way, go down, get up, still stand there, and then catch the ball. That's how shit of a Panenka it was from Aguero.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. Like, just put it away, man.
Smash it, honestly. Like he's looking to get a couple of goals before the end of the season. His last season with City, and he goes and does that. Like, does he really want to be remembered for the last couple of games to basically fuck it up? And he cost City the game at the end of the day. Like, had he put that pen away, different story. They would have sealed the title there and then. And obviously, we'll come on to it, but they've then sealed the title through other results. And it's probably not what Pep wanted, but Aguero then posted a rather amusing apology on social media to all the fans about how shit it was.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him for doing that.
No, and the other amusing thing of this game was the fact of Sterling's goal. It just showed, I think, Aguero had a really poor game. Aguero's poor touch basically then allowed Sterling to come in behind him and put the ball away, take the chance. And then Aguero's like having a go at him on the halfway line, saying like, "What were you doing? That was me. I would have, turned and then put it away." No, he wouldn't. It was a dreadful touch. The ball had got away from him, and Sterling had to take the chance. Aguero was never scoring.
Yeah, exactly.
Awful, absolutely awful. Whereas Chelsea played particularly well. Aspilicueta, I sold him this week, got himself an assist, so that was funny. But yeah, Chelsea are kind of, I guess, needed the 3 points in this game to try and retain that Champions League spot, and we'll come on to why, obviously, shortly. But yeah, massive 3 points for them in this game.
Very much so. Gives them a bit of confidence as well ahead of the Champions League final.
Big time. Right, moving on then. Then the evening kickoff, it was Liverpool 2, Southampton 0.
Yep, a loss that we obviously kind of expected.
Yeah.
But a very important win for Liverpool. Obviously, they're struggling down there. They're obviously way off the pace. But yeah, goal for Mane, obviously.
Yeah, and obviously Thiago got his goal. Shame it wasn't in front of any fans, really. But I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, losing 2-0. There was a reason Alisson was given man of the match, and he made 6 saves in the game. We just didn't take our chances, and Alisson had a particularly good game. On another day, we could have easily gone ahead in the game, probably even, drawn 2-2 with Liverpool. And it was one of those frustrating performances from us where we actually looked particularly good going forward, and we just didn't have the quality on the day to put the chances away. And time again this season, that's cost us.
Yeah, it's been a common theme for us, and I really hope we're going to get some players in, especially with the news, obviously, of Ryan Bertrand leaving us. which is a big loss. He's been a sort of a stalwart figure at left back. He's been a great servant to us, and I'm worried about who we'll get in. I feel like we'll get some shoddy replacement from like either the Bundesliga or Holland.
Yeah, because we've been lacking there somewhat in the last few games, obviously with Bertrand being out injured. Um, yeah, it was. Did you read the statement? I thought it was a nice statement, and it's good to see. He put some effort into it and was thankful and whatnot. But not once did he thank Ralph. And he also made a comment about he's looking forward to a new challenge where he gets to kind of play the football that he wants to play. So I think I might be wrong, but it feels like something's been going on the last couple of seasons, and Bertrand's potentially not been happy with maybe the way that Ralph is wanting him to play or allowing him to play. And for me, Bertrand's aging. He's 31 now, so it might be good for us to bring in some more youthful, exuberant talent. We've got Carl Walker-Peters on the other side, who's exceptional at times. We kind of need that on the left back role or the left wing back if we go three at the back. And I don't think Bertrand's that kind of player anymore, but he has been a great servant. 7 years with the club, he's done wonders for us at times.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm not really sure what kind of replacements are out there that we know of that we could go for. Like obviously, if you think of the relegated clubs, maybe like Osborne from Sheffield United might be all right. You've got, can't even think of who else has gone down.
Fulham wouldn't really. I don't think I'd take
No.
that back from Fulham. And then
West
obviously
Brom.
you've got West Brom. Not so sure, but to be fair, I expect we might tap into the Championship, given we're not a spending club. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go abroad.
Yeah, I expect abroad. I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll buy now.
Well, exactly. It'll be a big summer for us, that's for sure. Right, moving on to Sunday's games then. And one hell of a turning point in this game. It was Wolves 2, Brighton 1, which didn't look that way until Lewis Dunk got sent off.
Yeah, a bit of a roller coaster for Dunk owners. Obviously, the high of the goal and then the big low of the red card. And obviously, big impact, obviously, with the he'll obviously miss the next two games. So for FPL and Sky, that's kind of huge.
Yeah.
Sky, obviously, you won't have many transfers. FPL, you want to be using your transfers on other things, not fixing Lewis Dunk might.
Who's that calling you?
Pause it.
It was also huge because in Sky, yeah, like you say, Dunk captainers missed out on a huge hole. It would have been, well, obviously shot tier. He would have got probably the clean sheet because they were playing well at the time. Passing tier. If he got that, it would have been an inevitable man of the match, and Dunk captainers would have been absolutely laughing. But that moment of madness, he doesn't even have to do it. He doesn't have to pull back Fabio Silva. Just let him run through, and he's still got the work to do to beat the keeper. If he scores, he scores. It's 1-1. You've still got the rest of the game left, but to cost your team like that, and then as you say, he's now missing the next two games, West Ham and Man City. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, allowed Wolves to get back into the game, to attack the game. Morgan Gibbs-White obviously missed a complete sitter. His head was in his hands. Fair play to him though. He didn't dwell on it, and he picked himself up and scored what was a good goal, and his first goal, I understand.
Yeah, no, very good, really well taken. Obviously, he tried to hit the shot, kind of gets deflected back to him, then he quickly shuffles his feet and then puts it top corner. Like, lovely finish, and you could see the joy and that kind of release of like stress that he must have had after missing that chance, because obviously 1-1, big result for Wolves, doesn't really matter in the context of the season, but it's just good to get the win. And yeah, for them to then come away that last minute, obviously sickening for Potter on the touchline, but great for Wolves fans.
Yeah, great for Wolves fans, great for him. Pleased for the lad.
Right, and then moving on, it was the first of the triple game week for Man United. It was Aston Villa 1, Man United 3.
Yeah, went well for Bruno owners. I'm sure they'll be in the majority. We both own him, both captained him. Obviously, why wouldn't you? In the triple captaincy, triple game week. However, those of you that punted on what was the safe pick in Maguire will feel obviously very let down.
Harsh, I know. Yeah, obviously a yellow card, an injury, basically puts him out for the rest of the season, from what I'm reading, and touch and go on whether he even makes the Europa League final. So, yeah, sickening, because Maguire was the one that was being touted by most across Twitter, saying probably the most likely to play all 3 games. Obviously, in hindsight, they mass rotated in the next game, which we'll talk about. But it was frustrating because obviously Villa went 1-0 up, and then Man United came back and won 3-1. But a lot of us have Luke Shaw, for instance, and then we missed out on the clean sheet there, and that was slightly frustrating. And Shaw looked so good during the game, but again comes away with nothing. Very creative, looking to put balls in the box, and just time and time again is the chance conversion is there, or the chance creation is there, but the conversion from his teammates just isn't.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I guess Cavani owners will be pleased he came off the bench and scored.
Yeah, I've seen a few
He's been doing a lot this season.
He has, yeah, and obviously signing the extension of his contract. So Cavani will be at Man United next season as well. Big signing. And then obviously we've got Greenwood. Quite a lot of people gambled on him, particularly on free hits. I've seen Greenwood in a lot of free hit teams. So again, got his goal here, and then both me and you have captained Bruno Fernandes. I was sweating a little bit, and then obviously eventually got his goal, and then got his 3 bonus points as well. So I can't complain.
No, you can't at all. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of regretting not pulling the trigger on a sort of Jota to Greenwood transfer a couple of weeks ago. It's looking a bit painful now.
I know. We
Jota
even
going
mentioned it on the pod.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Right, moving on then, and then it was well, a tricky game to be fair. It wasn't the best to watch. It was West Ham 0, Everton 1.
Yeah, a dent in West Ham's European ambitions, but a resurgence for Calvert-Lewin. It's good to see for him because obviously he did go quite dramatically off the boil, but now he's starting to pick up his goal scoring form again at the right time as well. The Euros around the corner.
Yep.
He's going to be wanting to knock on Southgate's door, so to speak. And what better way to do it than to score the only goal in the game against what is a very strong West Ham side?
Yeah, I know. And West Ham needed the result, obviously, to try and get Champions League. Now they're probably going to be fighting for the European spot, 5th, 6th place. But yeah, I think West Ham really struggled to break Everton down, and I thought tactically, Ancelotti got it spot on. Like really stifled Antonio. Lingard wasn't particularly great. Eventually got booked as well to come away with a 1-pointer, but they weren't the same attacking threat that they were the week before. And it'll be interesting to see how they get on against Brighton in the next game, because Brighton play a very similar 3 at the back than what Everton put here, but without Lewis Dunk, it could be a very different story. The player I was quite impressed by was Godfrey, and someone I've been considering for the run-in, and I actually brought him into my fan team. So I was buzzing for him to get the clean sheet and the assist here, and I also brought in Jordan Pickford in my fan team for the clean sheet, just because I really fancied Everton for the final few fixtures, and they've done well, so I can't really complain with them keeping the clean sheet here.
No, it's a fair play. Obviously, Holgate was dropped, which is a big talking point because people thought he was relatively nailed, and that's got to hurt obviously with them for them to then go on and get the clean sheet as well.
Oh, big time, absolutely. Moving on then, and it was obviously final game on the Sunday. Arsenal 3, West Brom 1.
Yeah, very good for Arsenal. I quite like the way Arteta set the team up. At first, I was a bit apprehensive because I owned Saka in Sky. Seeing him at left back, I was like, is this going to be good for my returns? Maybe for like passing tier or something. But I was worried about his attacking potential, but he overlapped quite well, and obviously got a brilliant ball into the box, deep down the wing for I think it's for Pepe, and yeah, great finish.
Got the assist and man of the match, didn't he?
He did. I forgot about the man of the match. That was the cherry on top of the cake, really, for him.
Yeah.
And strong performance for Arsenal. And I do think it's a little bit over the top for Pepe to be running to the camera when they're like nowhere near the top six.
Agreed. Yeah, it was quite an amusing celebration. I didn't really understand it. Maybe there's a bit of frustration there. Obviously, he's not been scoring, but yeah, really odd celebration, and particularly in the context of things as well. Obviously, West Brom have gone down because of this result. Pereira got his goal again. Like, we've been banging on about him for weeks now. Like, he's been exceptional for West Brom, and despite the results that they've been getting, he's been consistently bringing home returns. And then the other player that I was really glad to see back in the Arsenal lineup the past few weeks and really coming back to the front. I owned him towards the beginning of the season, but Smith Rowe, I thought, had another really good game and obviously came away with his goal.
Yeah, on a lot of people's benches this
Yeah.
week. Obviously, he's a cheapo. Funds moves elsewhere. But yeah, no, great one to pick. Probably will be on our sort of thoughts for next season.
Yeah, no, I hope so. Him, and I've been impressed with Odegaard as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether Real Madrid allow Arsenal to keep him for another season. Obviously, they've got their own issues financially and player-wise, but if they've let him out now, I don't see why they won't, let him out again.
Yeah, might as well. And a first goal for Willian as well. After 37 games, it's been a long time coming since that. Well, yeah, his first goal. I mean, he had 3 assists, obviously, in the first game, but it's his first goal, and we're in May.
Yeah, I know, massive. Right, moving on then, and it was the Monday night thriller that everybody was banging on about. Obviously, Fulham needed the result. They didn't quite get it. It was Fulham 0, Burnley 2.
Yeah, a little bit annoyed that I benched Vidra in this one. But I was always going to bench him, I think, over, say, Lingard, who would have been the candidate to bench. But yeah, fair play. You got an assist. Obviously, another return for Chris Wood, who's looking a very good pick in both FPL and Sky. I think he rinsed in Sky, got about 24 points. Obviously, 12 doubled. So credit to those of you that went on Chris Wood. I made the mistake of going for Anderson from Fulham. And then I gambled for Charlie Taylor in my riskier team 1, which obviously did pay off. Yeah. Kind of regret not doing some of the riskier moves actually in my better team, but that's the kind of human nature that you tend to get more conservative the better your team does.
Agreed. Yeah, it's been a tough season for picking the right player, but I obviously with the Leicester game that came after this, I had Iheanacho as my third Sky forward, and although I knew that Man United were very likely to rotate, I took the punt. And it's the time of the season. I thought, you know what, why not? Not got many transfers left. I didn't have coverage at all for this game, and I was worried that a lot of people were going Nick Pope, but I wanted to keep Martinez because Martinez saved here as potential clean sheets. So I decided to avoid Pope, and I gambled on Wood, and then obviously got his goal and the man of the match. So tidy little 24 points come the end of it, and I was very pleased.
So I mean, it's a good decision. I'm just going to check if he's kept a clean sheet. It's finished. There you go.
0-0. I've just seen that. Buzzing.
Fair play. So it's a shame that Fulham obviously down.
Yeah, Scotty Parker didn't look too pleased, did he?
No, and you don't blame him. But I imagine they should stick with him, and they'd at least be sort of contending for automatic promotion next season. You'd think.
You'd hope so, but they're one of the teams that have got a lot of loan signings. I think them and West Brom have got a lot of loan players this year. So I'd be keen to see like the likes of Anderson and stuff. I very much doubt they'll get again next season. Anderson will go to a club that's potentially still in the Prem or maybe even one of the top divisions in Europe. I can't see him playing Championship football. The likes of, is Lamina there on loan from us?
Yes.
Yeah, whether he wants to go and play Championship football, I don't know, but we won't keep him. So he'll have a decision to make in the summer.
I'd imagine we'd loan him out to someone else,
Yeah,
somewhere like Turkey or somewhere else.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, it's just disappointing. You know, I was really hoping Fulham were going to stay up. I quite like Scott Parker, and there was obviously moments when they got that Liverpool result. We thought they could do this, but they just lost too many games that they probably shouldn't have, particularly in the last minutes against Brighton, no Wolves and Arsenal. Last minute clean sheet wipeouts, as they say, and then yeah, cost them valuable points. Right.
Yeah, I think they lost. They were playing very well as a team, working, yeah, just working well together, and then they kind of lost that. Obviously,
Yeah.
conceding late, that just shows a sort of a lack of concentration, and that's what cost them.
Yeah, big time. Right, moving on then, and obviously the game that I spoke about a minute ago about Man United's heavy rotation. It was Man United 1, Leicester 2.
Yes, it was, and firstly, what a cracking goal by Thomas.
Oh, unbelievable strike.
Bill, for a fullback to smash it in like that in the top corner, very impressive.
If I tried that, it'd be going out for a throw.
At the stadium.
Yeah, yeah. Stunning finish. And obviously United very heavily rotated. They had Toon, they had Diallo, who's obviously come up from or Ahmed Diallo came up from the under-23s. Obviously Tellez played instead of Shaw, played the likes of Matic. It was a very rotated squad. And a lot of people then looked at it and thought, Leicester, they should be winning this comfortably. And it wasn't as comfortable as a lot of people would have thought. The likes of Iheanacho, Vardy, you'd probably expect them to maybe get returns against this United, but neither of them did. And yeah, they relied on two defenders to get the goals. Obviously, Thomas and Soyuncu with the two goals that got them the valuable win.
Yeah, a bit underwhelming from Leicester
Yeah.
with that team selection. Quite surprised to see De Gea play instead of Henderson. I imagine rotation, but you don't really need to rotate your keepers.
Yeah, I think it was maybe just given De Gea the opportunity to have a game rather than Henderson play 3 games in 6 days. And I understood it to an extent. De Gea didn't have a bad game, so
Yeah. I mean, if you're De Gea, then you're going to be a little bit pissed off if you're not playing consistently, considering you're sort of an international goalkeeper.
yeah, I don't know if he's going to be at Man United next season.
No, I could maybe see him moving to, say, I don't know, Italy or something like that, maybe.
Potentially
Um,
Spain. Obviously, he's had his baby and stuff with his wife now, and he may well move back to Spain. It wouldn't surprise me.
no, it'd be interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's been quite obvious that obviously De Gea has been the one that's playing the Europa League games, but Henderson has very much become the number one in the Premier League.
Oh yeah, definitely so. And I don't blame him after the way De Gea was sort of playing prior to him being dropped. It's no real surprise.
No, not at all. Right, and then obviously the second game of the day, and one that I was a bit nervous about, but mainly because positionally we were sitting 17th and we needed the points just to make some money this season, and we did. Southampton 3, Crystal Palace 1.
Great win for us. Obviously didn't get off to a good start.
No,
Benteke scoring
2
very
minutes.
early on. Yeah, as we say, credit to Benteke. He's playing well. I mean, this time last season, 2 Benteke goals and consecutively, you would not expect that. Let's face it.
Not at all.
But credit to the man. He's obviously a good footballer. Just needs decent delivery and a bit of confidence. And we did well to come back from that sort of early setback.
We did, yeah. And obviously Danny Ings with a double, clinical, particularly his second goal, almost out of nothing really in the box, and then managed to put it away. Che Adams obviously got his goal as well, and it was good to see the likes of Redmond and Armstrong get involved with the assists. I still think that we struggle with our wingers at the moment. Obviously, Minamino played, Armstrong and Redmond, and yeah, they got the assists, but they're still not the driving force that I think we need them to be. And I don't know whether that's tactically the way that we're setting up, or just the mentality of the players at the moment. But time and time again this season, we've struggled to break down teams from the wings. And yeah, I guess we got a little bit fortunate in this, and we played well. But I think without Danny Ings, I don't think we would have won this game.
No, that's a fair shout. I think we could do with a bit of extra spark, a bit of extra pace in the on the wings. I mean, like when Walcott moved to us and was playing well on the wings, like that did add a little bit of extra dimension to our game. That was when we were playing particularly well
Yeah.
around that time. Obviously, our form's since dropped off quite dramatically. But yeah, I think we miss pacey wingers. Obviously, time's gone by. We've had the likes of Mane. We've had even J Rod sort of played far out on the sort of left and right wing. We're missing that pace.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's the creativity. Obviously, Prowsey's in there constantly in the middle, trying to make plays. But I think we've got to really look at the way that we set up next season, because teams all too easy can play against us in this kind of formation. And yeah, from January, I think we were, before this result, the worst team performance-wise in 2021, even below Sheffield United, and that says a hell of a lot, given we were top in November. So it's awful. But obviously, the other big point to mention for FPL-wise was the fact that a few of us punted on Big Fraser Forster after Ralph Hasenhüttl said that he would play both games. I punted on him. Thank fuck I did, because Milivojevic stepped up, and then Fraser Forster saved the pen.
Yeah, the ever reliable, normally Milivojevic missing a pen, unheard of. But credit to Forster, sat right on my bench. I was one of the few that didn't have that perfect bench boost of two goalkeepers with pen saves. But I'm just glad that Mendy did the business. Had I don't know, a Pope or someone else, or a goalkeeper that blanked, I'd have been kicking myself for not playing for.
I bet. All right, moving on then, and then quite a surprising result, to be fair. And to be fair, a really odd performance. It was Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1.
Yeah, I don't think many of us saw this one coming. I kind of piled onto Chelsea on my third team in Sky, expecting a Chelsea win.
Yeah.
Maybe I brought in Havertz. I expected something there. I brought in Azpilicueta. Obviously, I did get quite a lot out of that in Sky. But in terms of FPL, obviously, no clean sheet for Chelsea. No attacking returns. Just a drab 1-0 defeat to Arsenal of all teams. They go and get themselves into a Champions League final, but lose at home to Arsenal. It's a bit of a strange one, really.
Yeah.
And
Tuchel had made 7 changes from the Man City game, and it seemed to affect the rhythm. And he even commented on it at the end of the game that he didn't feel that he should have made that many changes, and it was his fault. Yeah. And there were certain moments in the game that he was disappointed with, but he didn't want to go into further detail about it. But I mean, for Chelsea to lose their clean sheet in the manner that they did, obviously Jorginho playing the back pass with Kepa, obviously being wide, expecting the back pass. Jorginho then tries to play it to the other side of the goal. Fair play to him, Kepa makes the save. Although, I guess technically not supposed to touch it with your hand from a back pass. Would have been interesting to see how the referee dealt with that. Had they not scored from the opportunity given Kepa, it's technically broken a law, but I don't know the law well enough to go into it too deep. But then, yeah, obviously, Aubameyang then takes the ball, rightly looks up, and then Smith Rowe gets the goal. Although he very nearly missed it. It was an awful scuff, but just went bottom corner in off the post.
Yeah, fine margins, but I think Arsenal will take that all day long. They need the points.
Yeah, big time in it. Kind of puts the pressure on Chelsea. Obviously, they've got 2 games left. If Liverpool beat United tonight, obviously we're recording on Thursday evening, then win their other game in hand, Liverpool are a point behind Chelsea. So that Leicester game all of a sudden becomes huge in terms of them getting fourth.
Yep. Yes, it does.
Right, and then obviously, finally, we've been recording whilst this game's on, so neither of us have watched it, but it has ended. Aston Villa 0, Everton 0. So
There you go. Warfest. Brilliant.
yeah, exactly. So for those with Martinez, he's made 5 saves, got himself 3 bonus points. Of course, I sold him for Forster, but I needed the money for Bruno, so hopefully Bruno does something tonight. But big returns in Sky, so I'll very much take that. I think that's save tier 2 and a clean sheet. So I can't complain. That's tidy returns from Martinez, and the reason why I held him and then went Chris Wood.
Well, some people have captained him, haven't they? Due to the whole kind of bus shit going on at Old
Yeah,
Trafford.
that's a
So
huge captaincy return. Like,
yeah, he's probably going to outscore the likes of Salah and Bruno.
I know. I
Yeah,
seen it, and then obviously the Man United Liverpool game is what's kicking off right now, and the reason this the triple game week is because of the protest the last game week. Very nearly, didn't go ahead again, but it looked like the decoy bus was the bus that was blocked, had its tires punctured as well, which it's just wrong. I get protests, but don't start vandalising. But yeah, it turns out it was a decoy, and Liverpool turned up in a black bus rather than a red bus around the back, and it looks like the game's going ahead. So I'm hoping the gamble on captaining Mo Salah doesn't come back to haunt me, because had it looked like the game been postponed, Martinez was my only other option. So fuck, we'll have to wait and see.
exactly. We'll see how it goes. But speaking of Sky, how did you get on?
At the moment in Sky, I am on 144 points. So
Oh, that's nice. That is tasty.
I'm having a good game week. Yeah, looking at it now, Martinez got himself fucking hell 12-pointer at the moment, and I don't know. He could very well get man of the match if he's made 5 saves. So
Probably.
fuck me. For those that have captained him, you've either got 24 or 30 points there. I can't see Salah matching that. He's going to need a couple of goals, but swings and roundabouts in the game. But yeah, 144, and I've got Robbo, Bruno, and Salah to play, and I've got 1 transfer left. So I reckon that transfer is probably going to be Fofana to either Dallas or Rafinha, depending on the lineup on Saturday for Leeds. I fancy Leeds for the final 3 games.
No, fair play. Obviously, there's some big captaincies up ahead. You've got the City Newcastle game on Friday. You've got the trying to think of any. I don't think there are any other isolated captaincy days.
No, the only single game day is the Man City Newcastle game, and I've got 2 in that game. I've got Diaz and Gundogan. Have you got anyone?
I've got Diaz in team 1 and in team 2. Yeah, Diaz again. Just all on Diaz. Hopefully he'll play.
I expect he will, but I have seen a lot of people that obviously went off of Man City quite a while ago, and people are going to be using transfers to bring them back in depending on that lineup. And I had saw that a few people were willing to bring in Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, it was expected he'll probably play, but Pat's come out today and said that he's actually got a knock, he's not fit, and won't play. So I'm keen to see what way people go, whether they do go defensively and bring in someone like Diaz, could very well keep a clean sheet. If he does, I expect him to pick up passing tier. Or whether they gamble on a player like Martinez, still on the brain, Mahrez or Foden, maybe. So I think it's a big game. But yeah, that's the only single captaincy. Looking at the Saturday, you've obviously got the 3 fixtures there. For me, if I bring in Rafinha, I may well captain him against Burnley.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair shout. I wouldn't mind actually having Danny Ings against Fulham.
I think if you've got Danny Ings, he's probably the standout option there. And then a lot of people have got Lingard. Some might be gambling on Antonio. I think that West Ham game could have goals in it, given Brighton don't have Dunk. So the captaincy is going to be really split on Saturday looking at that. And I guess it's good for the game. It'll really mix things up. And it could very well make a big difference towards the top of the leaderboard as well.
Definitely. I mean, I think some will be on Dallas, some will be on Bamford, some will be on Rafinha. There'll be the odd Lingard in there as well. It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, and then Sunday again brings difficulties in terms of choice because so you've got Villa Palace for those with Martinez. You then gamble on the second clean sheet, another big hole. But then Spurs have got Wolves, so Harry Kane. Liverpool have got West Brom, Mo Salah, and Everton have got Sheffield United. So those still with DCL. I know he didn't return tonight. Looked like he got shot tier 1. But will he return against Sheffield United? So again, quite a split captaincy. What way would you go for Sunday?
It's a tricky one, but I feel like Harry Kane against Wolves might be the best pick. Wolves haven't looked amazing of late, and obviously Harry Kane was unlucky in the last game, and I feel like he's maybe going a bit unnoticed. I reckon people have sort of got their eyes on the Liverpool game.
Yeah,
and obviously got DCL, then it's a great fixture for him.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it all depends on tonight's result for me. If Liverpool beat Man United tonight, then I expect Salah to start against West Brom. If Liverpool lose to United tonight, Salah might find himself rested because obviously we've seen that Mane is rested tonight. Jota starts. If they can't feasibly get Champions League, will Salah get the rest on Sunday and then obviously play midweek?
Yeah, that's a fair shout.
Harry Kane's going to play.
Yeah, exactly. You get that kind of reliability with Kane. He's playing. Obviously, because it's not the early kickoff, you kind of want that little bit of certainty. You get that with DCL. You get that with Kane. Mo Salah, it's always a bit of a risk.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I think on Tuesday, probably a very easy captaincy. Most of us will be on Bruno, I expect, against Fulham. Although, Man City play Brighton. Do you gamble on Diaz? But then, given Pep's rotation, he might even see a rest again. So I will very much be on Bruno against Fulham.
I'd agree with that. I mean, and Brighton are quite good going forward. They tend to always score at least one goal. I've noticed recently. They're especially at home as well. Yeah, I think Bruno's the standout there.
Agreed.
For the heads down.
On the Wednesday, again, it's tough. Tottenham have got Villa, potentially Harry Kane. Liverpool have got Burnley. It could be a difficult game. At Turf Moor. And then West Ham's got West Brom.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the trickiest day for me, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure, and I guess it will depend on the situation going into it. Who's still looking for points.
Agreed.
Right, we're not going to touch on Champman solely because the Champman game week starts in 8 minutes at time of recording. So one, we want to get involved in that, and two, we've already set our teams. They're on Twitter, but we'll give it a proper in-depth review next week when we hopefully get back to a more normal schedule. But we do have a lot of questions. I obviously put the call out this afternoon, slightly late. We're a bit late podding this week, but great to see so many people involved. So thank you very much, and we'll get stuck in. So first things first, James, we've got a question in from FPL Glasto. Who would be the Champman likely bargain for the final 10 weeks of the season that so far have potentially gone under the radar? Perhaps the likes of King or Skimica.
It's a good question, and I think a lot of the picks are sort of on the radar. So the likes of, say, Toon and Hughes at Charlton and so on. But I think I like McQuilkin from about game week 30.
Okay, yeah.
He's 4.5 at City. He's done fairly well this season, and he has a good sort of run from that period onwards in terms of opposition and sort of home games.
No, they do. I think the other player that I particularly like that has obviously come to the fold is Brannigan, Ipswich's £4 million goalkeeper. I think he's a really useful prospect and one that I'm potentially looking to go to. I think Skimica is a really interesting prospect too, like you mentioned, Glasso, because of Cooper's absence and obviously his proposed move in the summer, which the guys have announced. It's kind of seen Cooper drop out. So whether that's his place now, it'll be interesting to see. Right. Second question in from the legend that is Ian Parron. Mate, your spreadsheet has been gold this season. Thank you very much. Question is, how many transfers do you have left in your Sky FF third teams, and how many points are you expecting to accrue over the final 7 days?
Well, I've actually got quite a lot left. I've got 8. I did have I think it was about 11 or 12 left this week, and obviously I panicked seeing how many I did have with how much time we've got left, and sort of crowbarred in a few Chelsea players. I brought in Havertz for the Arsenal game, as I mentioned earlier, and it didn't really go to plan, other than bringing back Azpilicueta. No idea what I could sort of reach, but I'm aiming for at least 150. But with that amount of transfers, I could probably achieve over 200 plus points.
You should be smashing that. I mean, I've well and truly fucked my third team. I've only got 3 transfers left. Stupidly trying to get manager of the month with it, and I failed miserably. So, excuse me. So, to be fair, I really should have taken the third team's leagues more seriously. I'm in that Asian shock third team's league, and there's a lot of money involved. Like it's $5 to get in there. There's some regular names, Paul Sky players up there, Paul McNulty is up there, Dan Cox, they're all in it. And it's just a shame. I mean, if I was in your situation, it would have been brilliant, but really isn't. So,
oh, that man of the match tickled me.
I'd love to get man of the match, mate.
Next question.
Right. So, question in from FF Dempsey. The end of the season is upon us. Will you be doing Euro Fantasy, or will you be taking a well-earned break? I should be doing the latter.
No, I won't. Fair play to you for those that you do. But I'm sort of thoroughly looking forward to taking a break from fantasy games and just enjoying the games as and when they happen, without being too invested in who keeps a clean sheet, who scores, who's got the assist. I can just appreciate the game, which I'm looking forward to. But good luck to you, to those of you that are playing the game. Obviously, there's a big new pool of players to pick from, and Good luck to you.
I know. I did see there was a Twitter comment, and I'm not going to mention him, but posted about, well, if you're not doing Euro Fantasy because of the enjoyment, then why do you play fantasy football? But I think it was a nonsense comment that rightly got a lot of people riled. For me, I'm probably going to do Euro Fantasy just as a bit of a laugh, but I'm really not going to take it seriously because like you, I kind of feel that I want the break away from the planning side of things. And I know Euro Fantasy, I'll probably end up being dog shit because I'm not going to be planning properly for the group stages. And I've not even read the rules yet, but I'm just doing it to be involved with a few of the lads and, at least join some of the leagues. But me and you, for instance, we're going to continue podding over the summer because we enjoy podding and we enjoy providing the content. And we'll probably talk about the Euros, but it won't be in an FPL context. And we're very much going to obviously look to maybe focus on some other topics as well over the summer. And you most likely see a couple of tweets from us in the coming week, maybe getting your opinion on what you'd like us to talk about. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Right, question in from FPL Dronic. Do you think that next season, the Season Keepers and the Man On podcast should do way more things together and make a lovely little pod beast? No.
I don't know about that. Otherwise, it might be the Men On podcast.
Might be. Yeah, it might be. I mean, if we did do a joint podcast, given the guys exceed 2 hours sometimes, and we tend to ramble on. It's going to be a 4-hour podcast, isn't it?
Exactly.
They are a great bunch of lads, though, to be fair, and we'll no doubt, do something at some point. But the FF Collective stuff that they're doing, and the website, brilliant work, and I really enjoy reading some of the articles that obviously they've got plenty of the lads in the community writing for them. So yeah, great work, lads, and we're in that group chat, so we have the bit of balance between us all as well. It's good fun. Right, question in from FPL Buddy. I'm looking to hit my wildcard through Enchantman. What is the best possible goalkeeper rotating with Brannigan till the end of the season fixture-wise?
Now, this is a bit of a tough one. I went sort of trawling through like the rotation, and like Schmeichel for Villa sort of works if you're looking at home and aways. But obviously Schmeichel's 5 million. So maybe you're just better off having like a Jaskalainen or Sullivan at 4.5, and then just playing whoever you fancy each week.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got the answer, let me know, because I'm also looking at Brannigan. So yeah, that'd be key. But I mean, the likes of Craig Kemp and stuff, I bet they could give you the answer instantly. For me, in fairness, I'm probably going to look to keep Jussi. Just looking at the fixtures, I think it's game 31 to 33. Ipswich have really tough set of games, whilst Bolton have 3 home games. So I might look to target that, to be fair. Question in from FPL Thomas, sort of the other half of the Man on FF Collective team. I like this one. Top 3 animated films: Disney, Pixar, etc., etc.
Well, I love Toy Story. The first one. Well, I love all 3 films, to be honest, from Toy Story. And other than that, I'd say like The Lion King and Small Soldiers, the film that's always shown at Christmas with the Gorgonites and the
Small Soldiers.
Yeah,
Such a good film. So good.
Great film. Love it.
I was absolutely obsessed with Toy Story as a kid as well. I had Buzz Lightyear bed, Buzz Lightyear curtains, Buzz Lightyear toy. Apparently, I cried at Christmas because my mum hadn't put my Buzz Lightyear curtains up. So that's a story for you. But yeah, for me, fuck me, there's so many to choose from. I love, the Jungle Book and the Lion King, as a kid. But I think my top 3 right now, probably Big Hero 6, Zootropolis, and Coco. I absolutely love animated Pixar Disney films. Like, I'll happily sit down with Ellie and watch them all day. Like, just love them. And to be fair, they're getting better and better. So yeah, those 3 for now, but no doubt in the years to come, there's going to be even better ones. So it's some great work out there. Final question in from FPL Teach Mode, the man that we're going to be immediately looking to watch his stream after this podcast. Does Antonio worry you guys against a tough Brighton team, or will the absence of Veltman and Dunk make it worthwhile?
Yes, he does worry me, to be honest. As he's more than capable of scoring. Obviously, yeah, he scored 2 goals last week, but also there's the worry of him getting injured, and transfers are precious at this time of the season. So it's a dilemma, and one I'm going to have to mull over over the next 24 hours, really. I don't know about you, Matt.
For me, I'm 99% sure I'm bringing in Antonio for Iheanacho. I was going to keep Iheanacho. I was actually going to look to maybe bring in Kevin De Bruyne, but given the news of De Bruyne's injury, I'm kind of put off by it. So I think, yeah, Brighton without Dunk and without Veltman is a very different proposition, and that's what interests me the most. So yeah, I think I'm going to go Mikel Antonio.
Fair play.
Breaking news just before we end the pod, James. Man United 1, Liverpool 0. Bruno Fernandes.
Hey, captain. There we go.
So great as a captaincy goal. Looks like it was a deflected strike off of Nat Phillips. Yeah. So real shame. Aaron Wan-Bissaka looks to have got the assist, but fuck me, I'm hoping Salah scores, because not captaining Bruno Fernandes in Sky could kill me.
And me.
Absolutely. Right. I think that draws the podcast to a close, mate. And obviously, we both want to rush off and join the Odd Champman stream. So it's been a pleasure talking to you, mate. Hopefully, everybody's enjoyed what we've done. Good luck for the upcoming game week, and we will speak to you next week. It's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Cheers, guys.